Hey babes, I'm Mother Dearest, and this is the Off-Script Parent. So this week we're talking about raising confident, capable humans without sounding like a walking Pinterest board, and more importantly, without accidentally creating future arseholes. Everyone says they want a confident kid, until their kid is confidently telling them that the dinner they've cooked is mid and they're not eating that shit. Or the kid who has to have the last word at all times. I will just say, guys, I've recently had braces fitted, if you didn't already know that, and it is making it a little bit more painful for me to actually get my fucking words out. I don't mean physical pain, I just mean it's generally quite painful in a frustrating kind of way. But yeah, so I'm hoping this is still okay for you guys, but if not, suck it up, buttercup, and there's really little we can do about it. This first part may seem as though it focuses on just younger children, which agreed it kind of does, but it may offer some insight into challenges you may now have with your older kids. And that isn't shade. I made these easy mistakes with my older children when I was younger. I will go on to talk about how we support older kids with confidence and autonomy too. Section 1. What confidence actually is. Society seems to have us confused. Some people genuinely think confidence is about being the loudest person in the room, like the kid that has to take centre stage at a birthday party and make the entertainer cry. Being the person who always has to gob off and has something to say. But is it? The loudest kid on the playground might be confident, or they might be deeply insecure and just trying to overcompensate. How often as parents do we say, oh, they just pick on you because they don't like themselves? But bullies always seem so confident though. We can often confuse performative confidence, the loud, look at me kind, with genuine confidence, the calm, I've got this kind. But here's the thing most people miss. Confidence isn't about being assertive or loud. It's when what you think, say, do and believe all align. It's that internal match-up between what you believe and how you behave. Confident kids don't need to shout, brag or dominate because they're not trying to convince anyone of anything. Confidence is integrity turned inwards. It's, I don't have to prove anything because I know who I am. Confidence is self-trust. The thing that I say to my kids pretty regularly, and I think it is actually in one of my Instagram videos, when they feel a little bit uncertain, I ask them, whose opinion of you matters most? The answer is me, like them. I used to say that pretty much every morning to one of my kids on the way to school. Section 2, defining autonomy. So what about autonomy? It sounds like such a textbook word, and I'll be totally honest with you, I didn't really know that word outside of the crap we all put on our CVs until I started studying psychology. Autonomy is the ability to make your own choices and take responsibility for them. It's knowing you have control over your own actions, and you're not just doing what you're told because someone bigger or higher up said so. And it starts in the smallest, most everyday moments. Like, do you want socks or no socks? Do you want to try and open it or do you need help? What outfit do you want to wear today? It's these micro decisions, these little drips that fill their I can do this cup. And I know some parents are already thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, I don't have time for autonomy. I'm already late and we've lost a fucking shoe. But here's the thing. Giving autonomy now saves time later. And please tell me how saying socks or new socks is quicker than the meltdown, tantrum or argument you're going to have with them anyway. Kids who trust themselves don't need to fight you for control. Young children under the age of about 10, or people with ADHD, don't have fully developed executive functioning, the part of the brain that controls impulse, problem solving and emotional regulation. So when an adult dictates something and removes their sense of control, it creates cognitive overwhelm. Their emotional brain, the amygdala, basically hijacks their thinking brain, the prefrontal cortex. They can't organise those internal feelings now, so what on the outside we see as a meltdown is really just emotional dysregulation, not bad behaviour. We need to stop acting like kids learn autonomy through osmosis. They're not going to wake up one morning like, Mother, I've gained confidence. No, babe, they need practice. Section 3. Letting them fail. Here's the bit parents hate. This is the I'll do anything except that section. If you want a kid who is confident and knows their own mind and their own value, this is what you're going to have to do. Confidence is born from surviving failure. That's it. That is the TED Talk. We swoop in and act like personal bodyguards. We rescue, fix, over-explain and interfere. We project our own trauma. And that sounds really harsh, but I know it because I've done it and I've studied it. I always told my kids when they were little not to jump on beds because I did it when I was 3, fell off, landed on first and snapped my elbow like a fucking Kit Kat. I used to do my daughter's hair in plaits and all sorts of cool things so that other girls at school didn't say she had shit hair. Wonder where that stems from. You have to look at what your kids are physically and mentally capable of, because if you never let them experience their own competence, they never develop confidence. Any people pleasers or overachievers out there? I'm going to assume getting things wrong wasn't exactly permitted as a kid, huh? Or it certainly wasn't celebrated or supported. Section 4. Empathy, the anti-arsehole vaccine. This bit is crucial. This is how we work in confidence and autonomy without ending up raising an arsehole. The kind of adult who says, with all due respect, right before being a dick, or I'm sorry we got offended. That's not really sorry then, is it, buddy? Empathy is what takes confidence from a weapon to a gift. And the way you build empathy is actually really simple. Talk about feelings. I know, but it is 2025 and we know we need to do this by now, right? So we can see that our kid is angry at a sibling or a friend, so we say, "You seem to be feeling angry, can you tell me what's happened?" And they'll say that the accused has taken something, said something shitty to them or hit them. The anger that we see is actually a secondary emotion that masks the primary feeling, which in these scenarios is likely pain, embarrassment, upset or sadness. If they cannot process that primary emotion, or they don't feel safe to be vulnerable, that's when a secondary emotion is going to step in. Think for a moment about when you last felt angry. Did anything lie beneath that? Probably a lot easier to be angry than admit you felt embarrassed or hurt, wasn't it? We'll need to walk them through why it's okay to feel that first emotion and how to identify it. The quicker we can see the primary emotion, the better we are at regulation, understanding others' emotions, and therefore empathy. It's very important though, when we approach feelings of our children, we are careful with our phrasing. "You seem to be feeling angry" is not the same as "why are you angry?" Firstly, we're assuming we don't know. Telling them what they feel doesn't help them learn. Explore what they feel and offer suggestions if they aren't sure. We experience emotions, we are not emotions. Labeling a kid as angry or frustrated, for example, will become an internal dialogue that will eventually end up being a self-fulfilling prophecy. Section 5. Autonomy language. Because sometimes we need to know where to start, I do have a PDF that you can email me for if you need a copy. Here's some phrases or questions that you can use when you want to keep the autonomy, but you also aren't really sure how to engage with them. "I see you're figuring it out. Can you tell me your plan?" You don't have to get it perfect, you just have to try. "Do you want help now, later, or not at all?" "I'm here if you need me, but I won't take over." "What do you think would fix this?" "You've got good instincts, trust them." Let's figure out what you learned, not what went wrong. Section 6. Balance with power. Sometimes parents get confused when they hear autonomy. They think it means their child now gets to negotiate rights like they're on The Apprentice. No. You're still the adult, you still have the final say, you're the emotional climate control of the household. Autonomy isn't actually a democracy, it's more like guided freedom. Your job is to decide what, their job is to decide how. For example, the what. We have to do a reading book or spellings today. How? Well, they can pick which one, where you sit to read, or maybe the book, the pen and notepad they use to practice their spellings. It just gives them that element of control. Just look to offload a decision to them when you can. Section 7. Teenagers. The era of opinions with a capital O. Teenagers need autonomy like plants need sunlight, and if you block it, they'll wilt or rebel. Either way, it's not fun. With teens, you should not be their manager, you're more like their consultant. You're the person they should come to. Please see episode 1. It's no different from letting your 2-year-old pick their own shoes. Let your teen pick a dinner, for example, that they want to cook for themselves, and be on hand to help if they set your hob on fire or to dish up the chicken still pink. Nobody wants that. But don't hover, just be about to ask how it's going. They know when you don't trust them. Let them know the task for the day or the week and they can decide the order. So with my boys, they have a short list of maybe 5 weekly chores. I don't care when they do them, just that they do them. They have some daily chores, but again, they can do it in whatever order and when in that day they want. They know what time they're allowed out until and the radius in which they can go. Beyond that, as long as their location is on for safety purposes, I trust them to do as they please with that time. Give away decisions where the outcome is what you wanted anyway. They just got there on their own terms. Section 8. When confidence goes a bit too far. We've all seen a child who is maybe overwhelmed by their autonomy assignment. They maybe start to think they're the absolute shit because they've got this new way of thinking and seeing the world. And between the ages of 13 and 15, they really start to think they're grown, but they ain't. We got to check that, but being kind and empathetic ourselves. We got to say things like, you're right to speak up, but let's maybe work on the timing. Or your confidence is amazing, but let's have some kindness into that delivery. Your opinion was valid, it doesn't make it fact. Like, we don't want to shit on them, but sometimes they do need some redirection, we'll say. Section 9. Research. If you want the receipts, these are some of the studies that I've looked at. No, I can't give you all my notes because this ain't a uni assignment and I'm not here doing any more Harvard referencing. Some of it I just know because I've studied it, but these are the research articles that I've used specifically for this episode. Section 9. Research. Some of you may want the receipts, so here's some of the studies that I have looked at for today's episode. I can't give you a note on everything because some of it is just stuff that I have learned over time, all through my own studying. And this ain't a uni assignment and I'm so done with Harvard referencing. Kids build real confidence through mastery, effort, not praise. Praise actually builds people who rely on praise. Helicopter parenting creates anxious, dependent kids who don't want to make a decision without looking at you first. That might be okay at 3, not 33. Emotion coaching builds regulation and empathy. And finally, teens thrive with gradual increased autonomy and collaborative problem solving. Again, the references will be in the show notes. So what have we learned today? Confidence is not raising a child who thinks they're too special to apologise. Autonomy is not raising a child who refuses, like they're negotiating a hostage situation. Confidence is trust. Trust in yourself. Autonomy is self-direction. Empathy is a moral compass. If you mix those 3 together, you get a kid who can handle life, doesn't collapse under pressure, and also isn't an arsehole in group chats or to their future partners. We're raising humans who are strong, capable, and emotionally intelligent, not doormats and not someone else's reason for needing therapy. You don't have to nail this perfectly. You don't have to get it right every time. You just have to try, adjust, repair, and try again, much like they're going to need to. Thank you all for listening to this episode. I'd really like some feedback on the episode so far, so please feel free to contact me and let me know. Good or bad, just be nice. You can DM me on Instagram or drop me an email. I will put them in the show notes because I've established it's a pain in the ass to read out. So until next week, just remember to be kind to yourselves. It ain't easy out here trying to break cycles one messy day at a time. Much love, Mother Dearest.